0 up in the best of 5 qualification match for IEM Sydney.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, G2, they've had some pretty good rounds here and there thus far in this cash game, and they've been given some breaks by Big, and even now the scoreline's not close. I don't think any of us expected G2 to come away with this cash map in particular. I felt like this was always going to be a pretty easy Big victory. And for me, the series was really going to start with
backed up really nicely by Tizian as well to keep him from being flanked. That's fantastic. A great hold from Big. 2 players left alive for G2, and this will be it. Big managed to finally find enough rounds. It's taken them a while, but G2 eventually are going to fall over. Kenny S, well, he's been pretty good throughout this map so far, but I think a 5v1 is probably a little too much to ask from him. Especially with no utility, especially in the position that he's in. Santaras with a big flick. 3 kills for him. Be interested to know how many kills Santaras actually got in that map, because it almost felt like he was probably sitting towards 30. Very, very good map out from Santaras. Very good map out from the rest of Big in particular. I mean, I say very good. Maybe that's a bit of an overstatement. I think it definitely could have been better. There was moments where G2 sort of caused some issues that maybe Big shouldn't have allowed to happen. But end of the day, 16-7 as a scoreline. Pretty comfortable win for Big on the first map.
I mean, even just that last round really speaks to G2's prowess on a map like Cash. Like, they had full utility, a full buy with AKs. They're trying to get themselves back into it, and the strat is to just the one flashbang off the wall of A main, and they all stream out onto the A bomb site. And even then, like, the spacing of the players is a bit off. Like, one guy runs onto the bomb site, one guy's in A main, one guy's sitting at forklift. Like, just doesn't seem like it's all there for G2 on this map in particular. So, not too surprised that Big came away with it. You know, they really did do their best to sort of allow G2 to potentially be able to get back into the game, but even then it wasn't to be. Some nice plays from Kenny S and Jax in particular was a little impressive, but no one else on G2 really showing up except for around here or just there. So interested to see how the next map goes. Dust 2 is going to be a hotly contested one, but my big problem is the fact that obviously Big's up 2-0 in this series, and heading onto a map like Dust 2 that they're pretty well versed in, you could be potentially looking at G2 getting 3-0'd here, and you know, that's not something that I like to say. I want to see a nice competitive series because we just saw, you know, G2 handily take down 3D Max. I'd like to see them get back into this series a little bit more, but...
Yeah, I mean, that match against 3D Max did give me a bit of hope here for a pretty good grand final, but I mean, coming into it, always favoured Big just a little bit. The problem for me, like you said, was coming into this series, it really felt like the series itself actually starts on the next map, you know, for G2. Like, we looked at Cage, we said that's probably a bit of a quick and easy one for Big, but at that point, you're down 2-0. So you have to come into a best-of-5 series essentially down 2-0, it feels like. That's not an easy way to come back from. You know, it has happened, yes, but the fashion in which it's going to happen here for G2, I think, is just a little bit too much to manage. You know, we've seen them already put a lot of you know, pressure and power into their match against 3D Max. They really put everything into that, got a pretty solid victory there, but now are they starting to run out of steam as they're into their third map of today, which, you know, it's not too much, it's not the end of the world, but when you consider you potentially got another 3 maps to go that you might have to play to win this series, I think that's where things start to get a little problematic in the future now for G2.
Yeah, reverse sweep. Yeah, I completely agree with you. That's always going to be the issue in my mind. But Dust 2 should at least make for an entertaining map of Counter-Strike, at least one, even if that's all we get. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, let's certainly hope so. We're going to head to a quick break, guys. Don't go anywhere, though, because our next map is coming up, and it might be the qualifying map for IEM Sydney. So we'll be back after the break.
Thinks you can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
The synergy of brute strength, born of elite core power, to thrive under pressure in the most hostile conditions, and built to overclock. Prepare for combat. Go forth